Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Lost Odyssey on the Mysterious JG. Um, Kaim is on a mission to go to Grand Staff, find out what's going on. He's going to be traveling with a fellow immortal pirate who no one knows anything about her except she's a pirate. Nobody knows anything about her. She got big muscles. She wears gold bands on her muscles, but nobody ever seen her before. Sorry, it's a very specific reference. Um, Yeah, so he's going to be going on a quest. He's going to be bringing along a pirate who's also an immortal, and I guess Jansen, the zany guy. Oh, here's the pirate lady. We're traveling to Pirate's World.
Hey! I've been looking everywhere for you.
You've been looking from a seated position, it
I heard
seems.
about the Grand Staff investigation. Looks like we both got the short end of the stick.
What does that
It's
even
not
mean?
enough that we just keep surviving, eh?
I mean, I
It's
can't do that.
always something.
Wink.
So, what did you learn in the council?
Nothing to do with you.
Oh, really? Say, haven't we met somewhere before? Hmm?
Do you flirt with all the
Nothing to worry
immortals?
about if you can't remember. Neither can I.
You too, huh?
I can't recall a thing. All I know is that my name seems to be Seth Balmore. People say I used to be a pirate. Isn't it strange that both of us lost our memory and are immortal?
Well, at least she thinks it's strange. Anyway, I will say this. I ran into some random people the other day, and I remembered a little girl who died. Actually, no, I remembered a little boy who died. And I remember thinking that poor little boy, like he never got hair on his nads. And then I guess what I'm saying is I have memories of boys who didn't reach sexual maturity. Is that weird? Do you have the same thing? Maybe you have things about girls not having reached maturity. I don't know. You tell me.
Maybe we met a long time ago.
I doubt it.
I sort of get that feeling when I look at you. When we met before, were we enemies? Or allies?
Was I acting
Or
all
maybe
goofy and weird?
lovers? Looking forward to starting our journey tomorrow, Kaim Arganar.
Tomorrow?
You still haven't been contacted by the council?
Haha, you
set
suck. You
out
have my
for
contact
Grand
by the
Staff
council.
tomorrow morning. I thought you would have heard by now. Oh, and by the way, I'll be joining you on your little trip.
I
So
don't
you
know
are
what
going
this
with me then?
performance is
Being
supposed
late
to
is
be.
strictly forbidden. Mwah.
Like, I think she's supposed to be sexy, and the guy who wrote this fact thinks she's super sexy. I don't know. Like, she's flirty, and I guess she likes to run. I don't know. I'm not going to bother to pull it up, but I believe Split Infinity in his fact says, you run into Seth, and then in parentheses, I'd like to run into Seth's end too, if you know what I'm saying. And even reading it, I was like, but you didn't say we ran into Seth's end. You just said we ran into Seth. So what? Anyway. I think we can talk to somebody over here. Such a lovely young boy. I just can't keep up with him at my age. Hand over Urin soldier's effects? No. Because I don't remember getting an introduction to why we would hand this over. That woman's son died at the Highlands of Wool. I hope my son and nephew are okay. I haven't heard anything from them. I have to be strong for my grandson. No. He's such a lively young boy. I can't keep up with him. Yeah, okay. Like, she doesn't ask for these, but somehow we know she wants them. So maybe by triggering that memory with somebody on the bench, I screwed up the dialogue where she introduces the fact that the stuff we found at the Plains of Wool was her son's. But anyway. I sent this charm off with my son. It can only mean one thing. I knew it. I knew I was kidding myself. I was kidding myself before, really, but I knew it. This was my grandfather's nameplate, a souvenir from a war long ago that he miraculously survived. He told me that a fellow soldier saved his life in that war, but I suppose his nameplate wasn't enough to do the same for my son. Thank you for taking the trouble to bring this to me. There are so many families in this war with nothing to remember their departed by, other than memories of a meteor wiping them out. It may not be much, but I want you to have this. I hope you make it to retirement, soldier. 2 poison oils obtained. I don't think I'm retiring, lady. I think I'm immortal. I'm never gonna get to retire. I'm gonna have to work forever. Good afternoon, soldier. My daughter-in-law and I are doing pretty well these days. I worry about young men like you, always trying to do so much for us. I hope you can live out the life my son couldn't. Aw. Well, that's sad. So I guess you're the son of the dead dude. Let's go shopping with my mom today, but she suddenly changed her mind. No, maybe you're not. Oh, let's here today. The park is ours. This park now belongs to boastful Onus, or Omnis, or whatever my name was. Right, so yeah, like, when I'm obsessing about finding stuff like the soldiers, like, I think I probably need to rethink that now, because the split infinity fact and following it as I go does slow things significantly. And it appears that most of what we're seeing is stuff like you pick up an item in the dungeon, and then when you get to the next town, somebody asks you if you have it. You are able to offer it to them, and in exchange you get like 2 bottles of poison oil, which I'm sure are ingredients in rings. Like half the items in this game are things you make for rings, which are not that freaking important if you ask me. And then B, all things you can get somewhere else. It's not a game with a lot of unique treasures that I can recall. There's always been rumored that King's Eiffel was assassin. That's true to my Marshal Chairman. Foxian. Hi, I'm a cocktail waitress, so, you know, can you buy me a drink, I guess? Council tells us we have won the war. Could it really be called a victory at the cost of this many lives? But at what cost? Hey, it's a guy with no shoulders. Or just huge shoulder pads that obscure them. Drinking Soldier Moton. That's not a description of him in this moment. That's just, like, that is his job. He's the drinking soldier. Hold on, you're fresh from the battlefield too, aren't you? I guess we both have someone upstairs at bedtime, huh? I kind of feel like a heel thinking about all my dead bodies, but having another chance to see your family, well, that's a great feeling. I didn't think I'd actually make it out alive after all. I have no idea what I'm gonna do when it's time to knock on my family's front door. Kaim recalls a memory that was locked deep within his heart as this guy tries to talk to him and he ignores him. A dream has been revealed. Loading. Along the crowd of rugged men nursing strength and far corner of old towns on the top of Kaim. A single man strives into the door, massively built. He wears the garb of a warrior. His soiled uniform bespeaks luxury. Also, he probably had some food that didn't agree with him, and then he was in his car and he couldn't get to a bathroom and he shat his pants. Fatigue marks his face, but his eyes were penetrating, the look of a fighting man on active duty. The hero's return. The tavern's din hushes instantly. Every drunken eye in the place fastens on the soldier with awe and gratitude. A long war with the neighboring country has ended at last, and the men who fought on the front lines are returning to their homes. So is with this military man. The soldier takes a seat at the table next to Kaim and downs a slug of liquor with the forcefulness of a hard drinker, a man who drinks to kill his pain. 2 cups. Oh man, 2 girls, 1 cup? No, 2 girls, 2 cups, sorry. 3, 4. Another customer approaches him, bottle in hand, wearing an ingratiating grin. A typical crafty town punk. Let me offer you a drink, wheels the man. That's a token of gratitude for your heroic efforts on behalf of the fatherland. The soldier unsmilingly allows the man to fill his cup. I wasn't at the front. I'm sure you performed very valiant deeds on the battlefield for the fatherland. I've become German. The soldier empties his cup. The punk refills the cup and adopts an even more fawning smile. Why are you calling him a punk? Now that we're friends, how about telling me some foretales? You've got such big, strong arms. How many enemy soldiers did you kill? Without a word, the soldier hurls the contents of his cups on the man's face. The punk flies into a rage and draws his knife. No sooner does it leave its sheath than Kaim's fist sends it flying through the air. Face of the powerful, united front of Kaim and the soldier, the punk runs out muttering curses. 2 big men watch him go, then a faint smile. Kaim doesn't have to speak with the soldier to... No, he lives in deep sadness. For his part, the soldier, having cheated death any number of times, is where the shadow lurks in Kaim's expression. Tavern's din returns. Kaim and the soldier pour each other drinks. I'm waiting for them to introduce the little girl who's going to die in this one. I've got a wife and daughter I haven't seen since I shipped out, says the soldier, who might as well talk like the narrator. It's been 3 long years. He left himself small shyly now for the first time as he takes a photograph of his wife and daughter. Oh, fuck, there's a daughter! There's a daughter! And she's gonna die. She's gonna die, and she's gonna be a cute, innocent little girl, and she's gonna die. The wife and daughter from his pocket shows it to Kaim. The wife, a woman of dewy freshness. Oh, so very young, we can survive. The thought of going home with them alive is all to sustain me involved. Is your home far from here? I'm Kaim. No, my God, next pass. I'm sure they've heard the news that the war's over and can hardly wait to have me home. He could get there tonight if he wanted to go badly enough. It was that close, but the soldier downs a mouthful of liquor and groans. I'm afraid. Afraid of what? I want to see my wife and daughter, but I'm afraid to have them see me. What if my daughter died terribly, tragically while she was young? I don't know how many men I've killed these past 3 years. Oh, no choice. I had to do it to stay alive. I was going to get back to my family. I had no choice to kill one enemy soldier after another. And each and every one of those men said families they left at home. There's a code of war, the soldier's destiny. I would stay alive in battle. I had to go on killing men before I could kill you. I had no time to think about such things at the front. I was too busy trying to survive. See, now the war is over. Here's the sin of carved into my face. This face of a killer. I don't want to show this face to my wife and daughter. The soldier pulls out a leather pouch from which he withdraws a small stone. He tells Kaim it is an unpolished gemstone, something he found shortly after he left for the battlefield. A gemstone? Kaim asks, unconvinced. The stone on the table is dull black without a hint of the gleam a gem should have. It sparkled when I first found it. I was sure my daughter would love it when I brought it home to her. Gradually, though, the stone lost its gleam and turned cloudy. Metaphor! Every time I killed an enemy soldier, something like the stain of his blood would rise to the surface of the stone. As you can see, it's almost all black now after 3 years. Stone is stained by the sins I've committed. I call it my sin stone. You don't have to blame yourself so hardly, says Kaim. You had to do it to stay alive. I know that, says Soldier. I know that, but still, just like me. I bet I killed our villagers to go home. Anyway, whatever. The soldier then says to Kaim, you too, I suppose. You must have a family. Kaim gives his head a little shake. No, not me, he says. No family, not since the little girl and wife died in an earthquake, and I've had dozens of families too, but not right at this moment. A home village, at least? I don't have any place to go home to. Eternal traveler, eh? Uh-huh, that's me. The soldier chuckles softly and gives Kaim a sour smile. It's hard to tell how fully he believes what Kaim has told him. He slips a sin stone into the leather pouch and says, you know what I think? If the stone turned darker every time I took a life, I ought to get some of its clean back every time I save a life. You don't get to tell sin stones how to live their lives, says Kaim, and then stabs the guy. Instead of answering, Kaim drains the last drops of liquor from his cup and rises from the table. His soldier remains in his chair, and Kaim, staring down at him, offers him these words of unsolicited advice. I added the unsolicited, I'm the narrator. If you have a place you can go home to, you should go to it. Just go, no matter how much guilt you may have weighing you down. I'm sure your wife and daughter will understand. You're no criminal. You're a hero. You fought your heart out to stay alive. I'm glad I met you, says the soldier. I needed to hear that. He holds his right hand out to Kaim, who grips it in return. I hope your travels go well, says the soldier. Good luck avoiding the tragic death of your family to earthquakes. And your travels will soon be over, says Kaim with a smile, starting for the door. Just then the punk charge that came from behind wielding a pistol. Wait, what? Alright, so Kaim, I think, is just talking to him, and this didn't need to happen. This is so fucking stupid. So, yeah, like, come on. Like, you had a story that already had some sadness and tragedy in it. Like, whatever, game. So I would assume that Kaim is saying your travels will soon be over because, like, Kaim's an immortal. So to him, this guy's life is like the blinking of an eye, and he's like, you know, he doesn't mean anything by it. But because I'm taking my time and reading it, and it's getting ahead of me, the bullet sound and the red flash comes up, and I'm like, wait, Kaim just murdered this guy? No. Just then the punk charges that came from behind wielding a pistol, because I guess there's guns in this game, even though we've never seen them before. Watch out, bellows the soldier and rushes after Kaim. As Kaim rolls around, the punk takes aim and shouts, You can't treat me like that, you son of a bitch. The soldier flies between the two men and takes a bullet in the gut. What are we to think would have happened to Kaim if he took a bullet in the gut? You can't get game over. Like, you can lose combat and get game over because you're murdered by monsters, I guess. And so, as she desperately wished to do, the soldier saved someone's life. Ironically, it is all for life of Kaim, a man who can neither age nor die. But the soldier is treated as one and only life. Fuck you, Lost Odyssey. Just whatever. God. Yeah, no, because there's already people in the comments talking about how some of the best writing in this game isn't in the main story. It's in these little vignettes, but these vignettes are just maudlin pap. I mean, maybe we're off to a bad start, and some of them are a little bit mixed, but, like, if every single one is going to be as, like, generically tear-jerking as it's possible to be, I don't know. It's like, it's a whole genre I can't get into, like, grief porn. Sprawled on the floor, nearly unconscious, the soldier thrust the leather pouch into Kaim's hand. Look at my shin stone, will you? Yeah, like this... They're taking something that could have been told over a very long time, and like... It's like I really like Final Fantasy X a lot, just to give you another JRPG example, because it was a long, slow burn of a love story. Like, if you just said, these two characters were in love, and then this thing happened to them where they were forced to be separated, the end. It would be like, no, what? Lame. You could do a game where there's this character who, like, it's gradually revealed this is the way this guy feels. Maybe you even have scenes of him interacting with his wife and child and not being able to connect with them. But no, it's just like... It's like... I don't know. I found these very frustrating. Probably less frustrating originally than I do now because I'm sitting here trying to analyze them. So maybe I just need to stop doing that. But it's like, yeah, you could tell a great story here, but you don't get to just... You know, it'd be a really tragic, like, twist ending. But let's set up the actual prelude to the twist ending in just, like, one scene of dialogue. And not even name the character that we're supposed to feel so tragic about. Look at my sunstone, will you? Maybe, he says, chuckling weakly. Some of its shine has come back. Blood spurts from his mouth, strangling the laugh. Kaim looks inside the bag and says, It's sparkling now, it's clean. It is, gasped the soldier. Good, my daughter will be so glad. Then a doctor arrives and unexpectedly saves the soldier and everything's fine. He smiles with satisfaction and holds his hand out for the pouch. Gently, Kaim lays the pouch on the palm of his hand and folds the man's fingers over it. The soldier draws his last brush, the pouch falls to the floor. The dead man's face wears a peaceful expression. The stone, however, the man's shin stone, which is rolled from the open pouch, is as black as ever. And now you're like, alright, so... Now, what was the point of that ending? It's like, oh, Kaim told him a little white lie, but he's still damned to hell. Or, more likely, the sin stone didn't get darker because of the guy's sins. This, whatever the hell this stone is, it just got darker. All interpretations of this story basically make me regret the time we spent sharing it. Can you imagine if you have an eternity of memories so that every time you try to go out drinking with friends, you have some incredibly maudlin, tragic thing that was written by, like, a 13-year-old with a single black candle lit in his room, and they all pop up. Like, that's a lot of bad memories. It'll be a while before I'm back home, though. I wonder how everyone's doing. Hey, did I mention I have a sin stone? And Kaim's like, get me out of here! I don't want to go through that again! Woohoo! Hey, guess what? There's more memories in here. Between videos, I'll check and see what all we need to see. But I remember there's just a bunch of memories that you get in the tavern, so... I'm Argonar. Tragic Memories, score A.
I used to work as a jail warden. It was so strange to see the prisoners start riots over and over again. All it did was extend their sentences, you know. I have no idea why they kept on acting that way, really.
The mysterious Bon O, or whatever his name was. Yeah, this guy was mysterious sounding. I guess that means I should just read it in normal voice because he's mysterious sounding. A dream has been revealed. No, I should read this in my normal voice, which is not in any way an affect. So let me actually try to think consciously about what my normal active voice is. And certainly don't use passive voice. You're in the mind of a captive. He knows that it is useless, but he can't suppress the impulse that wells up from within his own flesh. Ooh. You need a moment, buddy? I mean, if you can't suppress the impulse, just find a quiet spot, go into your imagination, and do what you need to do so that you can kind of have that post-nut clarity.
He needs to do it, to hurl his entire body against the bars. It does no good at all. His flesh simply bounces off the thick iron bars.
Number 8, what the hell are you doing?
The guard's angry shout echoes down the corridor. The prisoners are never called by name, only the numbers in their cells. Kaim is number 8.
Oh, it's like V for Vendetta.
Kaim says nothing. Instead, he slams his shoulders against the bars. The massive bars of iron never budge. All they do is leave a dull, heavy ache in Kaim's superbly conditioned muscles and bones. If Kaim were a woman, he'd have the greatest breasts ever, but since he's not, he instead has superbly conditioned muscles and bones, and the swelling of that urge that he can't suppress is concentrated in the largest and most impressive phallus that man has ever known. Now, instead of shouting again, the guard blows his whistle, and the other guards come running from their station.
Number 8, what is going on to make you understand? What is it going to take to make you understand?
Do you want to be thrown in the punishment cell?
Don't look at me like that. Start resisting and it will all it will get you is a longer time in here.
Sitting on the floor of his cell, legs splayed out, Kaim ignores the guard's shouts. He has been to the punishment room any number of times. He knows he has been branded a highly rebellious prisoner, but he can't help himself. Something is squirming deep down inside of him, begging for release. He'll need to find a quiet corner and go into his imagination for about 15 minutes. Some hot things trapped inside there is seething and writhing. 15 minutes, I guess it depends on how much,
Some war hero you turned out to be, says one guard. You can't do shit in here. What's the matter, soldier boy? You can't do anything without an enemy staring you in the face?
The guard next to him taunts Kaim with laughter.
Too bad for you, buddy. No enemies in here. Nobody from your side either. We've got you locked up all by yourself.
After the guards leave, Kaim curls up on the floor, hugging his knees, eyes clamped tight.
All by myself. The guard was right. All by myself.
I thought I was
used to living alone in battle on the road. But the loneliness here in prison is deeper than any I've ever experienced before, and more frightening.
Walls on 3 sides, and beyond the bars, nothing but another wall closing the narrow corridor. This dungeon was built so as to prevent prisoners from seeing each other, or even to sense each other's presence. The total lack of a change in the view paralyzes the sense of time as well. Kaim has no idea how many days have passed since he was thrown in here. Time flows on, that much is certain, but with nowhere to go, it simply stagnates inside him.
Another cheerful memory from Lost Odyssey.
The true torture that prison inflicts on a man is neither to rob him of his freedom nor to force him to experience loneliness. The real punishment is having to live where nothing ever moves in your field of view and time never flows.
The guy who wrote this, have you been in prison for great stretches of time? I'm not saying you're wrong. I just there might be people who've actually been tortured in prison who could, argue that being left alone for hours isn't too bad.
The water in a river will never putrefy, but lock it in a jar, and that is exactly what it will eventually do.
Yeah, there's no such thing as putrid rivers.
The same is true here. Maybe parts of him deep down in his body and mind are already beginning to give off a rotten stench. Because he is aware of this, Kaim drags himself up from the floor again and slams himself into the bars over and over. There is not the remotest chance that doing so will break a bar, nor does he think he could manage to escape this way. Still, he does it repeatedly. He can't help himself. He has to do it again and again. In the instant before his body smashes into the bars, for that split second, a puff of wind strikes his cheek. The unmoving air moves, if only for that brief interval. The touch of the air is the one thing that gives Kaim a fragmentary hint of the flow of time.
Okay.
The guards come running, faces grim with anger.
Now I can see human shapes where before there was only a wall. That alone is enough to lift my spirits. Don't these guards realize that? All right, number acht. Excuse me, couldn't remember the word for number. It's a punishment room for you. Let's see if 3 days in the ever cool your head.
Kaim's lips relax into a smile when he hears the order. These guards don't even seem to understand he's some kind of weirdo torture masochist.
Don't these guys get it? Now my scenery will change. Time will start flowing again. I'm thankful for that.
Kaim laughs aloud. The guards tie his hands behind him, put chains on his ankles, and start for the punishment room.
What the hell are you laughing at, number 8?
Yeah, stop it. We'll punish you even more.
But Kaim just keeps on laughing at the top of his lungs.
If I fill my lungs with all new air, will the stench disappear? Or have my body and mind rot so much that I can't get rid of that stench so easily? Oh well, at least I know someday I'll be out of here and will be very incurious about my immortality and also hang around with some kind of flirty ex-pirate. How long will they keep me locked up in here? When can I get out of here? Will it be too late by then? Will my daughter and wife have already died in an earthquake? When everything is rotted away, will I become less a him than an it, the way our troops count enemy corpses? Again, fun story, Lost Odyssey.
Kaim can hardly breathe. It is as if the air is being squeezed out of his chest and the excruciating pain of it is drawing back from the world of dream to reality.
Was I once in a prison in the far, far distant past?
He half wonders in the space between dream and reality. He has had this dream any number of times, this nightmare, it might even be called. After waking, he tries to recall it, but nothing stays in his memory. One thing is certain, however, the appearance of the jail and of the guards as the dream is always the same.
Could this be something I have actually experienced? If so, when could it have been?
There is no way for him to tell. Once he is fully awake, those questions he asks between dream and reality are themselves erased from his memory. He springs up with a scream, his breath labored, the back of his hand wiping the streams of sweat from his brow. And all that is left is a shuddering terror. It is always like this. Now, too. He mutters to himself as he attempts to retrieve whatever memory is left in a remote corner of his brain. What kind of past life could I have lived through? Now, too.
Are we going to have a friendly conversation with the warden after this memory?
What kind of past life could I have lived through? End.
You ain't kidding, boyo. All right, folks, that's going to be the end of this video. Yeah, sure am loving this memory mechanic. There's got to be some happy ones in the game, right? Right, folks? There's only one I specifically remembered because I was just... It was the closest thing they got to being interesting to me. And that was the only memory I remember one of the other immortals, because we're going to meet, I think it was 4 immortals over the course of the game. I don't even. Yeah, one of the other characters we meet who is an immortal will eventually have a dream. And that's the only one I remember. But hey, this is the first Kaim dream where nobody died, so we're making progress. When we come back next time, we got at least one more dream to get in this bar before we get out of here. And I am interested to see what people are saying in the comments about the way I'm handling these dreams, because I think that was the thing that really got me about this game is, because this game was out during the kind of early days of like GameFAQs forums, maybe not the early days, maybe they'd been a thing for a while. But I was seeing the feedback from the gaming community, and people were all excited about these, and they were for me my least favorite part of the game, whereas for everyone else they were the thing that was fascinating and made them stand out. So I'm curious to see what you guys think, yeah, stick around and we'll see more of these wonderful dreams of torture and death together. Bye bye.